Don't forget to check out my Patreon where we have exclusive content such as Camp Zero Base 1, 17's Nana Tour, 17 in the Soup, Finding Stray Kids, Blackpink House, EXO's Ladder, EXO Showtime, A-Pink Showtime, and tons of other content including extra variety shows, K-dramas, animes, and movies.
Hey guys, Angie here, and today I'm going to the book exchange store tomorrow because it's been like over a year, I just realized, since I last exchanged some books. And I'm not gonna lie, I slacked a bit on reading the past few months, but last year, because I have stepped outdoors and got a bike and stuff, I did start reading in the park and being more productive. So I do have, and my mom got me a Kindle my previous birthday, not October last year, but the year before. So I have read some books on there. So we're gonna start with the Kindle. My little Kindle, look at it, it's so cute. Look, got my Taeyong stickers, Shuki, Appa, Kimmy, Chucky, Phil, Angelica, Susie, Momo, Angel, Grappy. Oh, they're all upside down. Harry Styles, treat people with kindness. Wow, they're all upside down. Jessie, and a Goofy movie. Oh, and Sokka, and an orange heart. And then we have some stickers. I can't do anything without bedazzling and adding little stickers and stuff. So, I tend to read, so I have the like membership thing, and then I also did like the library app where you can hook it to your account and then rent or like borrow books from the library on here. So, and I have mine on dark mode. So let's see. Sorry, I'm very new to this. So I'm like still not sure how to navigate things. Can I go to library? Oh, I can just go to library. Okay. Okay. Haven't read. Oh, there's one. The first book I read is Room for Rent, which is I think on this Kindle I've been reading more mystery novels and stuff. And it's by Noelle. Me inadequate at doing any type of reviews. Where is the about this book? Okay. Noelle West Illy. So from what I remember from this book, because it was like 2 years ago, it was a girl going to college and she's like a tenant at this room where it's like a sketchy neighborhood and she has this weird roommate. It sounds so simple. I don't know how to word it. Basically, creepy things are happening and she hears people like entering her room and stuff. And the roommate that she's living with is like a creepy guy, and she is in a really tough situation where she kind of has to stay there, but like she tries to avoid it as much as possible. I don't know how to explain it. I think it's a really good book. I read it like really fast. Highly recommend that book. I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. Because I remember personally the twist wasn't that much of a twist, but it didn't bother me. Like, I kind of saw the twist coming, just not in the exact way it panned out. But it wasn't like oh, that ruined the whole story thing. It's like, I enjoyed reading it despite that. It's like sometimes you can predict a movie, but you still enjoy the ride. Um, dang it, how do I? Okay, then we have Nowhere to Hide. Is this? I have to make sure this is the right book that I'm thinking of. No, I don't think this is what I was thinking of. What book is this one? Because you know what's weird is reading on the Kindle, I tend to not remember the titles of books because you're not opening the book each time. And I feel like when I'm reading a like physical book, I'm always looking at the cover before I open it. But because often it's already open to the page that I'm on, I don't look at the name as much. So I'm kind of mixing up the titles. Um, about this book. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Oh, where do I read the? Where's the summary? Where's the summary? Oh my god, the Kindle is so laggy. Sorry, guys, one sec. Okay, I was mixing it up. This book is about a Nowhere to Hide. It's about a woman in. Okay, I'm realizing everything I read on the Kindle is very dark, but a lot of books I read physically are like really cute. I don't know why this is, but maybe it's just the mood. Because I tend to read on the Kindle when I'm going to bed, and for some reason I want to read something creepy before I go to bed. But then I tend to read my physical books at the park or when I wake up or something. And maybe it's just like, it sets the tone. So this one is this woman, she becomes in a relationship with this famous man, and it's like an abusive relationship. And the whole story is her escaping it. I don't want to say too much because there's a nice twist at the end again. Um, I would say I don't love it as much as the other book, and I kind of feel like it's so hard with abusive relationship stories because in real life I understand it's the way things pan out, but like it's so hard like reading or watching it and being like, why didn't you just do this or just do that? But like I had to like remind myself, oh, it's being realistic. So sadly, and at least like I understand, but also like I'm like, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? I feel like they could have let up better, like establish the relationship a bit better before jumping into it, because it makes you go, this lady's dumb. The red flags were on the first date, basically. But the I just feel like there are some parts where I'm like, so I'd give it like a 6 or a 7. But I would oh my god. Yeah, I can't even say that anymore because now it's just ruined the world, ruined those numbers. Like my shoe size is a 6 or a 7, and every time I like buy like shoes or something, I feel so it's just so frustrating. Let's see here. This is the book that I was thinking about, that I was mixing up. It's called The Girls in the Cabin. It's this guy taking his daughters on this like trip in the forest or something. I don't remember how it started because the beginning was like a little boring. But once you get to the cabin, it's like, oh, I hate personally point of view switches too much. Like if it's between two characters, it's fine, but like because I'm really bad at remembering names when I'm reading, I'm really good at remembering them when I'm like watching a show or something. But like when I'm reading, for some reason, it's hard for me. I think because you don't have like a physical thing to put the name to, and I'm bad with names in general. I hate when they switch point of views too much because especially at the beginning of the story, like towards the end, I'm like, oh, okay, this is Emma, this is Nicole or whatever. But like in the beginning, it's like I keep getting confused and mixed up if like you start the chapter with the name and then the next chapter is a different name. And I'm like, wait, who's this person again? And I have to go back and remember who this name is. I just like it when it's like um one point of view or a third person point of view. I don't like it like just stick to one person or third person or whatever. Or if it's like a romance or something, switch between the two people. But like if it's the daughter and then the other daughter and then the dad and then this random person, I'm like, wait, who is this person again? Because I can tend to remember characters in the context of the main speaker, but then if we switch point of views, I forget who the person is. Whatever. So this dad is in going on like a little trip. The mom's dead, of course. And they go to this, they're like, it's like a snowstorm or something, and they get trapped. And their only place they can go is like this cabin. And basically, you arrive at the cabin and realize everyone's cuckoo bananas. And I feel like it's really hard explaining like thrillers and stuff because I don't want to like say anything that gives things away. There's a twist here. I didn't see it coming. I didn't really like the twist. It was a fun read. Like if you can like get the book for free, like I do. I have the Kindle Unlimited thing, so it's free. I would say it's worth a read, but I wouldn't go like buy the book personally. I didn't love the characters. I guess I didn't connect to anyone, and I realized I don't like reading from a child's point of view, where the child is like seen as a child. Does that make sense? Like Harry Potter. When I read Harry Potter's, like the Harry Potter books, which canceled. We don't like Harry Potter. Well, we don't like J.K. Rowling, but like, sadly associated. So not supporting Harry Potter anymore. But I do still have like the books, so I'm not gonna like just toss them away. You're reading Harry's point of view, and it doesn't feel like a kid's point of view, but you still remember he's a kid. But I feel like when there's a parent's point of view and then a kid's point of view, the writing seems too jarring, and it feels cringy when I read the kid's point of view because it's like an adult writing the kid's point of view. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. It feels very cringe reading the kids' point of view, especially because I think like the kids were like what 10, 6 or something. So I didn't really love reading kids' point of views, especially when you see or when you read from the father's perspective and stuff. It kind of feels. I think I realized I don't like seeing different perspectives for especially thrillers because it makes it less thrilling because you're getting everyone's point of view and it becomes like less scary. Like one of the kids is injured and you see her point of view a lot and it makes me feel not as scared for some reason. Um and then I oh okay. This one's a controversial one and I would recommend this with caution. I hesitated reading it because there was a lot of controversy around it. But the controversy made me want to have my own opinion on it. There's a book called Tampa, and I would call this the like male version of My Dark Vanessa. So I recommended My Dark Vanessa last time, which is about a girl who gets groomed by her teacher. And this is like, I would consider this kind of the male version where it's a boy getting groomed by his teacher. I think where the difference lies here, remember, I think we got the teacher's perspective in My Dark Vanessa briefly. No, wait, did we? Either we did briefly or we didn't at all. I don't remember, to be honest. It was a while ago, but I don't think we did. Which made it feel more like you're reading from the victim's perspective and allows you to, like, only see him, the groomer, as, like, well, how do I word this? When you're reading it from her perspective, you're feeling her why she gets groomed, kind of. Like, oh, this is how he's manipulating her. And at times you forget she's a kid in the book. But you always know he's a bad guy. But, like, in your mind, you're like, oh, I see why she kind of got groomed. I see that, how that happened. I feel like because in this book, you're reading it from the groomer's perspective, it one feels extra icky, two feels a little fetishy, and three makes you like extra uncomfortable. It's one of those things where I have to like step back and be like, okay, this is a writer. And much like horror films and stuff, the people making the movies have to be a little dark and twisted because you have to come up with the ideas. But when I read this, sometimes I felt like I was like committing a crime. And I would have to like skip a lot of it because it gets very graphic and very uncomfortable. And my mind goes, how do you write that and imagine that? And remember, it's from the teacher's perspective. So it's written with glee and like pleasure in a weird way. Like it's written where she's happy doing it. But then I'm like, okay, but the writer had to write that. So it makes me feel very, eh. So I didn't buy this book, so I feel less icked from it because I don't know how to feel about someone writing pedophilia and rape, but in a happy perspective. Because I think we should have those things written, and because they happen, and there should be stories of it. But like the way, and we do get like a semi good ending where consequences do happen. But it's just weird to imagine because the whole book is from her perspective, and the whole book is written positively, but there is consequences. And I understand the art perspective of like getting in the mind of a groomer, kind of like getting in the mind of a murderer. I feel like, but there's something more fucked up about it because it's pedophilia and rape. For some reason, it feels less icky reading someone like thriving about murder. Like if you watch a show, I think there's like shows where it's like like isn't Dexter like that where he kills rapists and stuff, but he's still like a murderer. I'm not sure. I never watched Dexter, but that's what I always heard is like he's like a almost like an anti-villain. He kills and it like makes him happy or something, but like he only goes after the bad guys, so it's okay. But it's still bad. I don't know. So I don't know if I would recommend this. It was very hard to read. I just kind of it was almost like I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I couldn't put it down, and then sometimes I had to go like so long without reading it. But when it got to like, oh fuck, like it was just very graphic. And I feel like I understand like, oh, you want like the realism of it, but sometimes it felt like, okay, do we have to read all of that? Couldn't we just get to the part and then fade to black? I don't know. And then the way it was written sometimes just made me feel very weird. Very weird reading it. Um, mhm. So I don't know if I'd recommend it. I mean, I would recommend it in a sense of like, if you're curious about it, read with caution and make your own opinion like I did, because I completely understand both sides, and I don't think there's any right or wrong answer for this one. But I would lean towards more it felt a little fetishy and someone was like writing something they wanted but knew was illegal, so they went the legal route of it. I don't know. But like I'm not gonna accuse people of that, that's just where I'm it's just my opinion. I feel like I'm missing some books, but currently I'm reading oh wait, no, I knew it. I knew I was missing one. That's why I was getting confused. The Tenant. So the tenant, not to be confused with room for rent. The tenant is this man and his fiance, because they're about to get married, or they're about to be married. He loses his jaw or something, and he's been accused of like, oh god, I feel like I always like the beginning of stories. I always it takes me a while to get into them, so I always kind of blank out. I think he was getting accused of like with money and stuff, and what's it called? Not, I don't think he was stealing. I think he was doing something. They accused him of doing something where they lost money or whatever. I don't know. And so he loses his job. He goes into this depression. His relationship with his wife or soon to be wife, I can't remember, is, um, a little wavy. And they have to rent a room. I love just like a classic rent a room situation. And they have this lady come in, and she's young, she's a little sexy. And then the husband, weird things are happening. But then the wife, because I think he didn't want them to have a tenant, but because he hasn't gotten a new job, the wife was getting mad, and she was the one pushing for the tenant. I can't remember. And then how do I word this? There's suspicious things happening once again, similar to the other story, but not necessarily creepy, more like sabotagey. The fish is dying. Um, there's gross stuff, like the shampoo's empty. Like things are happening, and it feels purposeful. It's always happening to him specifically, and the wife thinks he's going crazy, and then I think the wife thinks he's cheating with her. And he keeps thinking this woman is sabotaging his marriage. And yeah, so that's happening. And I actually really like that book. The beginning, once again, was slow, but once the roommate came in, it was really good. And there's a really good plot twist at the end. I couldn't figure it out, to be honest, so. All right, now to the physical books. This is a great book. I loved it. This is one of the books I traded in when I went to the book exchange last time. And so you think about a mom. Where's the mom? I think this is the mom. Maybe this is the mom. Usually the mom's the shortest. I think this is the mom. And she has 3 kids, and they're all adults. And ironically, coincidentally, me having no gay inkling, the mom's a lesbian or bisexual. So you get adult lesbian relationships. And it's basically, we're like going through the families and their issues, and like the son with his daughter, the daughter of the mom, like the main mom, going through like being single but wanting, I think she like wanted a child but like on her own, and is getting judgment from like her mom and stuff. And what's the other? Mm, I don't know. It's hard to explain because it sounds very simple, but I personally love I would call it like a slice of life book, right? Kind of like Shameless, or uh like the old teen shows like The OC, Pretty Little Liars and stuff. Well, Pretty Little Liars had like a plot to it, but like where there's not like necessarily a plot, more like an idea. Like Shameless is this poor white trash family living in like a bad neighborhood and trying to make by with their life, and the OC is this poor kid having to move in with this rich family. You're kind of just following him. this is like the adult, the parent of three adult children going through her life and things happening. But I don't know. I just really love this book. Personally, keeping this book. Anyway, always mix up. This book is so good. Loved it so much. This is a book I read when I was riding my bike and I went to a park and I sat there and it was just like a vibe. Cliche Freaky Friday vibes? Well, not Freaky Friday. Back to the Future vibe. Back to the Future vibes. Daughter goes back in time and befriends her mom, who experiences being, is it first gen Korean? Like her mom, the grandma was born in Korea, but the mom was born in America. So I guess like first gen Korean American. Like, I don't know. I'm very bad with the wording with those things. And the daughter realizing kind of the privilege she had of being like, because she's kind of not rich. I guess they're rich. They're rich. And she tries to like make her mom's dream come true of being like the homecoming queen or what, the prom queen, which sounds very corny and stuff, but like it's really cute. And there's a cute romance in here which I actually really loved, and I would love for this to be a movie. If this became a movie, it would be like, if it's done well, on par with like Freaky Friday and stuff, because I feel like it's such a wholesome, it's Freaky Friday. It's like the Freaky Friday version of Back to the Future. Because like Freaky Friday is like a, mom daughter movie, but this is more the mom being friends with the daughter when she's a teenager. And it's really cute, and there's like a little twist in here which I didn't see coming, and I thought it was so cute and well done, and I loved it so much. Generally beautiful book. I would definitely, this is a book I would strangely reread. I don't reread books, I just want to read all the new ones. And I have so many books that I want to get to. I would reread them. This one was fine. It was a book where I was like, I'll finish it, but like I wasn't eager to finish it. This girl dies, and you're basically figuring out who amongst the friends killed her. I even forgot who killed her. I had to like remember for 1 second because I don't remember who killed her. I just didn't. Who killed her? I don't remember. Wait, there's. Okay, wait. Ah, I remember. Okay. It's because I haven't read it in a while, so I forgot names. I was like, wait, who was that character? Okay. It was like, I feel like whodunit books, especially nowadays, or like whodunit shows, it's really hard to get a good finale to that because everything kind of feels disappointing at the end. Because especially if there's only a certain amount of characters, and I feel like it's hard to make it satisfying. And I was like, oh, him or her. Sorry, gotta spoil it. I mean, there's a few guys, but okay, whatever. Him, like it's like him, really? Okay, I guess. And then the reason, or so, like, I I can't explain. I can't explain it because then it'll give it away. I It wasn't that good of a book. I just feel like it didn't leave me on edge. It didn't make me go, oh, I wonder if this person did it. I feel like sometimes whodunit books I can't enjoy very well. There was a book One of us is lying. That one was a good whodunit. It was actually a good twist because they did it in a way where it made sense, but it was a shocking twist. But like, it wasn't like a that doesn't seem plausible twist. It was like it made sense to me. This one I just don't. I can't even explain it. I just didn't really like this book that much. I mean, I'm gonna no. I think I might get some haters here. I might get some haters here. Didn't like this book very much. I related to it in a lot of ways. If we're gonna go deep into it, how do I word it? I relate to the main character in a lot of ways. And at times it felt a little cringe. Maybe that's why. I think I see myself too much in the main character, and it made me feel a little like, oh, do I relate too much to this character? I didn't find the main character compelling, and I felt like she was actually really believable. But then maybe it's because I never been to college. When we got to the college years, it felt very fanfic. And when the romancing things started happening, it felt very, really? Oh, okay. It felt a little cliche, considering how well it was doing in the beginning. I don't even remember if I finished the book. Did I finish the book? Oh, once again, though, it's another one where it's like they switched the character, like, the point of view is too much. I feel, am I gonna be judgmental here? I feel like switching point of views is lazy. Like, constantly switching point of views is a little lazy sometimes. It's like, oh, you can't think of a story enough from one character. You have to go to, like, all these characters. Like, you can't write just one singular story. You're almost writing, like, 3 stories. And I don't really care for some of the other stories. Sorry, that's probably a little judgmental. Because I do think I think Alice Oseman does best with comic styling. Because Nick Loves Charlie is like, and then I haven't read Solitaire, I think, which is, what's her face? The sister. What's her face? Bev? Mildred? Lex? Heather? What's the sister's name? What's Nick's not Nick's, what's Charlie's sister's name? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just didn't care. I was actually really looking forward to it too because I do love her other things. So now I'm kind of nervous because I have another book from her that I'm gonna read. And after reading this, I felt a little let down. So I'll hope that one's good. I think it's about like a band or something. So I have that book. Hopefully that one's good. But maybe it's just like I I did love the queer representation. I felt like it was really well done. It felt a little on the nose though. It felt a little like, oh, here happens to be the queer god helping her give labels and names to things. And here happens to be the queer community just all there. Maybe college is like that. Maybe I didn't go. I didn't get to have like that one lucky time where I just get to go into a room full of queer people and be like, my people. But like, it felt very, I was like, oh, good for her, I guess. Maybe I'm just jealous. Maybe I'm just jealous of her. Oh well, that's my opinion. I didn't read it. I tried to read it. I was really excited, and then I just didn't care. Like, I kept it mainly for the aesthetic of it, because I do think it's cute, but it's taking space, and I might as well hold space for future books. Oh, we're getting to the books, man. Okay, wait, now is this the good book? Oh, yes, this is the good book. Because there's one book that wasn't a good book. Oh, good book. Black teenage girl living in a society in which her father is being accused of murder and her brother is kind of being like accused of, how do I word it without giving too much away? Like the brother is being racially profiled as being like bad person. I don't know how to explain it. And she is basically fighting for justice for her family, but they're trying to silence her and tell her just to let things go. But my bitch don't go to that. She said, no, my father is innocent. I know it. There's revelations in here. There's discussions that are a little uncomfortable sometimes that you don't like to like hold up to your face and be like, dang, I guess I probably would have thought that too. And I just feel like it was really well done. The relationship between her and her father is so sweet, and I just think I would like to also say, which I mean, it's kind of obvious, but you would think sometimes it's always obvious, that it is a black writer as well. And sometimes I'll read a book with like a person of color as like a main character and be like, this feels a little off. And I'd be like, oh, the writer's white, that's why. Which I don't think you have to be the race of the character you're writing, but there's just like something a little different. Like a lot of books, I think it's my last day, or the book with the two guys and like you have like your last 24 hours to live. If I recall correctly, I think his name is like Mateo or something. There's a character in there who is Puerto Rican. And I was like, wow, he's really represented well. I love him so much because I relate. And then I realized, oh, the writer is Puerto Rican. That's why. Or is it like, I think it was Puerto Rican. Like he's like Hispanic. And it's like, oh, that's why he's written so naturally. It feels very natural. I do think we should be allowed to like write things out of our like bubble, because I think sometimes you can be a little too one note if you're always writing, and like if you're too in your comfort zone, it doesn't allow for creative freedoms. But I think there's limitations to it, and I feel like this writing was just so good and the story was so well written. It didn't feel cliche or dramatic, like it wasn't dramatized or anything. There was a little twist in there that was really well done, where you like have a white character who, I guess, is this a spoiler? There's a white character in here who's like a really good guy, but there's revelations, but it didn't villainize the character. And I think that was what I liked, is it didn't kind of, because I feel like it was such a good and well-written book, it was kind of like holding up like a mirror to like the white Americans. I mean, like, hey, look at what you've created. Not you, but like the community. And I do think that allows for a conversation of like, obviously, when you're like, men suck, and people are like, not all men. It's like, no, but men suck as a general consensus. Like, men are trash. Majority of criminals, men. Majority of rapists, men. Men are trash. You can change that, but only when you like recognize that, you're part of the problem. And I think that's where it was like really well written, where a revelation happens, and I felt like it was done so well. And it was just like, I feel like more people should read the book. It's just really well done. Loved it. Keeping it. I cry. This is a sensitive one, and I do think you have to go in with caution, especially if you're still in school. I'm out of school, so I think I can kind of separate a bit. This is a story in which switching point of views is great. You're going through different characters' perspectives of being in the middle of like a school shooting. And it was just so like, I think I read the whole book in 1 or 2 days. It's written in a way where you also get like text messages, tweets. I don't even remember if we know who did, or because I read this like a long time ago. You're seeing there's like really interesting connections that you don't realize until the end of the book, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize. Um, it was just so crazy. It kind of I have like a morbid thing with like school shootings. And that sounds really weird. Where I feel like my mind is constantly thinking of, I think it's because my two of my cousins are teachers. So when I say like a morbid curiosity, it's like I'm constantly doing research upon them. And because I feel like since people don't realize they happen nearly every day, because a lot of them are false alarms or like no one dies, no one gets shot, but like technically it is like a school shooting event. Events weird, like a school shooting situation where someone arrives to school with a gun. And especially where I live, there's like one of them like every week, I swear. And so I think I just have like a weird fixation upon them. I think it's because like I pinpoint and remember exactly when Sandy Hook happened because I was in middle school and it was very traumatizing. Even though I wasn't part of it, it was like a very traumatizing day. And then I also remember being very paranoid one day when someone, I think it was like junior year or sophomore year, someone posted on Instagram like, if you wear red, you're gonna get shot or something. And I remember being panicked all day. And like, why is no one telling a teacher? Why is the school not shut down? Nothing happened, but it was just really alarming. And I like remember the fear that day of being like, because people were talking about it. So like it was a thing in the school, like, oh, you better not be wearing red, blah blah. Like, oh, I wonder who had said that. Like, I forgot how it happened because I don't remember who said it. I think it was just like a rumor, but I feel like a rumor should be taken serious. But like, thankfully, nothing happened. But I just remember that. So I think it all stems from that. It stems from trauma, even though I never directly was impacted by those things. It like nothing happened that day, and like I wasn't even related to anything with Sandy Hook. I distinctly remember those days, and I just always have it in the back of my mind. And I'm like forever thankful I'm not in school anymore, but like I do have like cousins and technically like my stepbrother, like my mom's boyfriend's son is like 9. And I'm always just like panicked. And I'm like, oh, please take things serious. But yeah, I do think it is such a good read, but you gotta prepare tissues because it's very emotional. Okay. Love in the Big City. I told you guys I did read the book beforehand. I do think it's a really good book and I do love it. I don't think I'm going to keep it just because I think for me it's a one-time read. It didn't necessarily leave a mark on me. I mainly got it to read it before the K-drama came out. And I did enjoy it and I enjoyed the K-drama, which I reacted to on Patreon. But like I said, I read the book before, so I already know what happens in it. I think it was really well done. I think there was like some pacing things. It's really like my brain just doesn't do well with time jumps and stuff because then I have to like always be like, wait, but wasn't he? Oh no, that was 2 years ago. Or like I forget the timeline very badly. I'm very bad at time. So I did think it was good. I did like it. I personally probably would have like I would give it like a 7 out of 10. It's not like my favorite love story, but I know it's not necessarily a love story. I think that's where me being like a sucker for good romance, I'm like, oh, I need a good happy ending. And we did, but like, you know, selfishly I want more. So, and then we have The Rise of Kyoshi. It took me forever to read this book because I had a hard time following for some reason. For being such an Avatar freak, I I'm bad I'm bad at reading a lot of things. I'm bad at reading fantasy, I think. Like I struggle to like read and follow when there's like a fight happening. Like when I was reading Harry Potter a couple years ago, I was struggling to read the battles. Thankfully, I've seen the movies, so I kind of could follow, like, I could imagine kind of what was happening. But, like, when it would describe Kyoshi, like, fighting or, like, something, I couldn't picture it. And it's not because I can't picture things, because I picture things in books all the time. I picture the characters and the scenes playing out. But for some reason, my mind can't comprehend the choreography. So that's where I struggled. But once I got a grasp of the characters and everything, I would just kind of like skim through the fight scenes. There wasn't like a lot anyways, but like when there was any type of physical altercation, I struggled. And it is a like bending book. Like there's like fire and water and everything. So it's like it was hard for me to like envision it. Even though I've seen the show a million times. But yeah, and then there's lesbianism in here, so I love that. And I'm excited for the second book because I have like all of the books, but I struggle to like keep up with them, I guess, because I'm bad at grasping the characters because it's like I have to like distance it from Avatar, but remember it's like in the same universe. So it does help me build the world a bit because if it was like reading it without any context, I'd be very stressed. I feel like I'm missing a book. I feel like I'm missing a book. Um, I read this on a train to my cousin's house, and it was really good. How do I explain? This is almost like a whodunit, but like you don't realize it until later. Um, Everyone's going to this house showing. What's it called? Like when they like, yeah, house showing, right? Where you all go to the place and you get to see and look around and see if you want to like buy the house or whatever. And they get held there at gunpoint, and you're kind of basically jumping between all the characters. And this is not what I thought the book was going to be about. So I was like, oh shoot, okay, let's go. It was like a pleasant surprise. I thought it was going to be more about like going through someone with anxiety, but it's not really. Like it is about anxiety, but like not really. It's like a vague background thing. You're going through all these people, like this rich woman and this poor man and these like uh lesbian couple and these like newlyweds or something. I can't remember. It's been a while. And kind of getting a grasp of their life and then how they interact with each other and how they each interact with the gunman at different perspectives. And you go back in time a bit, especially to the main character who, if I remember correctly, tried to kill himself. A retired couple who's hunting down, yeah, like a wealthy banker who has been too busy making money to care about anyone else, a young couple who are about to have the first child. Yeah, and then see, I didn't read the. I don't. Sometimes I get books just for the cover, and I don't like to read the description. And I think this was one of those times where I'm really happy I did that because it allowed me to kind of get a different view, basically, of the book, where it's like a surprise element to it. Um, and yeah, so I would say this is definitely a top 10 recommendation. I will actually keep this book. And then we have Love Boat. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Taipei? Beautiful. I want a cute little series on this book. Like, I think this could be a cute TV series because it's about basically there's this tradition where, is it, uh, let's see how to explain it better because I'm not good at this. I don't know if this is like a real life thing, but basically, I think like a bunch of rich people will send their children on like this boat, and she thought she was going to like it's like a school thing. I think it's to like do extra studies or something. I don't remember, to be honest. Once again, the beginning of the book I struggle too much. It's only like towards the like for like after like 20 pages I'm like, okay, I got you, I'm hooked. um there's like prodigy kids and they all go on this boat, and they think because their parents sent them, or at least she did, that it was gonna be like a really strict school, but it's actually more of like the parents allowing their kids to like live a bit of life. It's like a we know but we don't know type thing, and you go in there like party and stuff. I think it's a real thing because I think I looked it up and I think it was a real thing, but don't, take my word for it. So it's like a little Loki is like Jersey Shore, but like in Taipei. And there's romance and drama. I think where I might not keep this book is where I didn't actually like the main couple, and I was kind of rooting for her with someone else, and I kept hoping they would get together, and I just kept going back to the guy. I was like, he's such a boring cliche, and that's where it kind of lost me. But the cover is so beautiful. But I'm not gonna lie, that's where it lost me. I think that's where I'll say no to it. Let me double check my books. Okay, I think I'm gonna get rid of this book, even though I kind of want to keep it because I might never end up reading it because I did watch the movie, and I do love the movie. But I just feel like I've seen the movie a few times now. I know like the book's sometimes better, but like I think I might just have to get rid of it. And I remember I got this because I just love the cover and I do love the story, but will I ever actually sit and read it? Probably not. So I should just part with it. But so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books, and they're all in pretty good condition. So hopefully I get a few books back, but we'll see. So anyways, let me know. Do you agree or disagree with any of my choices? And are you gonna check out any of the books? Probably not, right? But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Wise men say it's really good to be holding wine or a baby, or like a leaf will flow. 사랑거리며